Seriously?
Hey guys, it's me, OS87, with Jesse, and we've been getting a lot of questions asking us how we made these Mario Karts from our videos. And if you haven't seen our Mario Kart, I'll put a link to the video right here. And so today we're going to show you how to make this Toad Kart. Let's go! Okay, so this is a super fun, super easy project that anybody could do. To build the most basic kart, all you'll need is some cardboard, some wood glue, some paint, and some rope. And to make this kart, here's what we used. Your first step is to start sketching down some ideas. Start with a basic shape like this, and don't worry about things like the steering wheel and exhaust and tires. You can work on those after you have the shell already built. Step 2, cut both boxes down the seams so that you have 4 pieces per original box. Step 3 is to draw your design onto the cardboard and then cut it out. You want to make sure that you take up as much space on the cardboard as possible. Then when you cut it out, take the one that you cut out, put it on the other piece, trace it, and then cut that one out so you have 2 sides that are equal size. Step 4, you're going to want to roll your cardboard for your front and for your back. To do this, just put it on the edge of the table and push down to give it some good creases. And using this method, you can make just about any shape. Step 5, grab a friend and put the front in place. And once you got it where you want, once you got it lined up, start taping along the seams. Make sure you cover the entire edge from top to bottom, ensuring that there's no gaps. Step 6, you're going to want to put the rear in place just like you did with the front, taping along all the edges so that there's no visible gaps. Next, you're going to want to make your seat. Put your spare piece of cardboard inside the box, make sure the heights match up. Draw yourself a headrest and then cut out your design. And once that's done, you're going to put it back in the cardboard box to make sure it lines up. And if it's good, take it out and you're ready to move on to the next step. Next, you're going to want to add your front windshield. Like you did with the seat, put your cardboard in place, mark it, then cut it out, and then put it in to make sure it fits. And when that's good, take it back out. Adding a windshield to the front and a seat to the back will help seal up both ends, which will give it some good structural support so it won't fall apart. Next, you're going to want to remove the excess cardboard on the bottom of your cart so that your legs have room to walk around. Follow the windshield down, make a straight line across, and cut out the excess remaining cardboard so that your feet have some room to walk around. Step 10 is to glue the interior of your cart. We use liquid nails. Run it along the edges. Make sure you have a good thick line so it's nice and secure. Next up is to install your exhaust. For this, we use some horns that we found at the dollar store. They were good because they screwed and unscrewed, so we cut a hole, popped them in there, screwed them in place, gave them a little bit of glue to help them set, and then they were good. Next up, you're going to want to install the brake lights, and for this we found that cups work really great. Just cut halfway along the inside of the cups, spread them out, then cut some holes in your cart, stick the cups from the inside out until you got a good fit, tape them on the inside, glue them around the outside, and then you're all set. Next up, you're going to want to assemble your front dash. Now ours is 25 inches long by 8.5 inches wide, and this is including a 1.5 inch fold for the front and a 1.5 inch fold on the left and right hand side. And it's also where you're going to be putting your steering wheel and your cup holder and all that fun stuff. And when you're done with this, it should fit nice and snugly on the inside of your cart. And adding a dash is a key step because it adds a lot of structural support to your cart. Next up, you're going to want to install your windshield and your seat. Simply put them in place and then glue along the seams using liquid nails. Next up, you're going to want to install the dash. So tape down the corners and put some glue on the outsides and place it inside your cart as far up as possible. And to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, you're going to want to tape it in place. And when that's all done, you're going to want to glue along the front windshield. And after that dries, you flip your whole cart over and then you glue along the inside seams. Next up, you're going to want to reinforce and smooth out your body lines using liquid nails. Anywhere that you have tape, you want to put a bead on the top and on the side all the way around your cart and then smooth it in place using your fingers. This will help hide the tape as well as give it some extra support. And here's a tip for you guys that I wish I would have implemented on this cart. Any open edge that you have, I would recommend sealing it off with tape and then glue like this. Tape it and then glue it and then smooth it down, because some of the areas where we have open edges like this, like along the headrest and the windshield, and even along the side right here, they'll tend to open up like this, and if you tape it and glue it down, it'll fix that problem. Next up is to add your primer. You're going to want to paint on every single surface that you see. Your whole cart should be white by the time you're done. Adding a base coat of primer will help seal your cart. Since it is cardboard and it's susceptible to water damage, this will help repel the water, and it will also make it easier to paint and your colors will pop a little bit more. After your primer dries, now it's time to start painting and customizing your cart. This is the fun part. This is when you can be a little bit more creative and start adding all the cool details like the steering wheel, the cup holders, and whatever else you want to add. We used black for the inside, and make sure you paint everything on the inside. And then we used orange for the front and brown for the sides and back. And then as one area dried, we would paint another. So we did the mushroom green, we did the seat blue and the dash blue and gray. And for the chrome exhaust, we used some metallic spray paint and we painted the brake lights red. Next up, you're going to want to make a cup holder for your dash. And to do this, we put a can on top of the dash, traced around it, and cut until the hole was big enough to fit the can. And then if you have some controllers laying around, they make for a good touch to the dash. So just cut a hole, run the wire down there, and then tape off behind it. And while you're waiting for your paint to dry, you can start working on things like your wheels and your steering wheel. And for the steering wheel, we just cut out a star out of cardboard, used a foam ring and a cardboard tube. And for the wheels, they're just some foam circles that we got at the dollar store. Next up is to install your steering wheel, and we found that the steering wheels come off pretty easy, so we wanted to make sure ours was nice and secure. So we cut a hole for our cardboard tube, glued around that, and then also glued down the steering wheel along the front dash. So the number one problem with these carts is that the wheels tend to fall off. So what we found worked best was these foam wheels. Primer them, paint them, put the little circle and the big circle, glue along the back, and attach them on. The next step is to finish up the painting and the final touches. And to do the brick designs, we did the horizontal lines first, and then we did staggered vertical lines. And for the front, we did one line all the way across. And now you can start really customizing your cart with some decals. Print off some pictures that you think will work, and then using clear tape, tape over the front and the back of the images, and then cut them out, and then glue them on. And you can put decals pretty much anywhere. We used a toad symbol for the back headrest, and then we also used a decal for the license plate. And now, since the back of our cart was a little empty, we decided to put a question block on it. Either build a cube or make one and paint it, add some decals, put some glue on the bottom, and then stick it in place. Then for the item box lock, we just drew a design on some cardboard, cut it out, and then stuck it on. Then for the headlights, it's really simple. It's just 2 push button lights that we found at the dollar store. It comes with double-sided sticky tape, so just add some batteries and stick them on. Next up, you're going to want to put on your shoulder straps. And to do this, you want to make sure you have a good rope that won't chafe into your shoulders too much. We use some cheap climbing rope. To install the ropes, you're going to want to go from the inside to the outside of hole number 1, and from the outside to the inside of hole 3, and from the inside to the outside of hole 2. And then when you're done with that, tie them off. Do this on both sides and make sure your cart is about waist high. When you tie it like this, it allows you to have a handle, and it also has 3 points so that the rope's not fighting through the cardboard at just 2 points. And if you find your cart's bouncing around too much, simply tie a string around both shoulder straps and it'll keep it nice and secure. And your last step is to shake your cart, and if anything's moving around, you might want to glue it down a little bit better and finish up your paint job. If you have any lines that were running, you might want to clean those up. And when you're all done, you should have a cardboard cart that looks something like this. Thanks for watching the video. If there was something we didn't quite explain good enough, leave your questions in the comments section below and we'll be sure to answer those. And if it's your first time here, click this red button here and subscribe to our channel. And as always, thanks for watching.